From the broken leaves of the Book of the Watchful Star, he arrives but does not enter. He withdraws but does not depart. He perceives all without sight. He knows all without thought. He is the beds of the mighty river, the page and the pen that writes upon it. He is the start, the end, and the journey betwixt. He is the beating heart of the heavens, the snaking coils of its bowels. He is the womb that fashioned you. He is the shade that lives behind your eyes, the hue that pulses below your skin. He is that which fills your heart and which coats the blade that seizes it. He is the stains on the whip at your back. He is the rust upon the chain at your wrist. He is the X on the edge of the map. He is the conjurer of life, the devourer of fate. He is the giver of all names, the receiver of all memories. He is known to us as Antarax, the Red Death, the Scarlet Letter, the Crimson Arbiter, that which opens at the close, he who begins at the end. At the beginning of all, when time was but a wound in the impregnable flesh of eternity, and energy writhed without form or sequence, from the throbbing heart of this supernal pond, there poured a singular entity, a flying, nameless, shapeless being who sowed a destiny into all vagabond epochs, his will being not of mind, of soul, or of heart, but of pure platonic principle, the quintessence of completion itself. In his greatest work, he gave shape to endings, and thus bestowed life unto beginnings. He taught the gods of dream and of void that even the powers of their realms were not without their limits, that no dynamo of chaos is unyielding, that no crystal of order is everlasting. He is the cycle, not as tyrant, but as pure mathematical necessity. When empires stretch too far, he brushes them aside. When men live past their appointed arcs, he closes their story. When monsters defy extinction, he ushers them back into the abyss. He acts without malice. He speaks without words. He curses without contempt. That is his eminence, and it is his singular, nameless dread. When Antarax comes, he leaves no mark, no scar upon the earth, no ash in the wind, only void where folly once stood, only stillness where pride once stirred. Know, O seeker, that there are powers which neither bless nor curse, but only keep the measure that was written before the forming of flesh. Among these is Antarax, whose name is not spoken save in dread, for he walketh the border between breath and silence. Once did the elder races call him the Red Law, saying that he was before the counting of years, and shall remain after the last fire is guttered out. For Antarax is the steward of the final tally, the collector of the unpaid, and the keeper of the cyclic gate through which all flesh must pass. He appeareth not in any single shape, for his form is veiled in scarlet vespers, wisps and threads like unto blood, suspended in deep waters. At times hath he shown the glimmering ruby eye, and at other times the trembling hem of a crimson mantle, yet never hath any living soul beheld his full countenance and remained sound of mind. When the law is broken, when the balance is profaned, then is Antarax stirred from his stillness. In silence he draweth near, and the threads of fate tremble at his passing. The old books say, he speaketh not, for his judgment is older than speech. Those who sought immortality, or twisted the ways of time, or sealed their breath against the work of decay, found him waiting in the turning of the hourglass, and were seized by the unmaking. For Antarax is not death, nor does he rule over the dead. Rather is he the rectifier of causality, the red hand that restoreth the order, when mortals, through prideful works of cunning or sorcerous craft, reach beyond the measure appointed them. Men of ancient Chaldea wrote of him thus: a form in crimson mist, crowned not with gold, but with silence. A mask without mouth, whose gaze is the first dawn and the last dusk. And it is told that he arriveth without footfall, and the air grows heavy as though remembering a forgotten terror. Mirrors darken at his nearness, shadows lengthen, the breath grows short in the chest. Those who flee find him already ahead, for Antarax is the wheel and the turning thereof. Invoke him not, for there is no boon in his coming. Besiege him not, for no prayer nor offering pleaseth him. Yet speak his name in solemnity when endings must be honored, lest the cycle break and bring his notice. His seal is drawn in red ink upon black vellum, showing a circle divided thrice and bound by a single downward thread. It is said that to inscribe it is to acknowledge the law, and to behold it is to remember the final debt owed by all living things. Thus is the mystery of Antarax, whose path no man may follow, for he hath walked from before to beyond, and keepeth the scarlet gate until the world is ash. The rubric of the scarlet gate, a forbidden rite for consultation, not summoning, for Antarax answers no summons. This ritual is preserved only in commentary. It does not call Antarax, it acknowledges him. Materials: one circle drawn in red ochre or cinnabar, 3 lines crossing the circle, 1 imperfect, a mask broken in 2, a single drop of the supplicant's blood. Procedure: at the turning of dusk, face west. Hold the mask halves together, but do not join them. Drop the blood upon the flawed line. Speak: I seek not to bend the law, but to behold its keeper. Extinguish all light. What follows is not sight, but understanding. A pressure of presence, a judgment of intention, a correction of the soul's misalignment. Those who attempt to command Antarax are found empty at dawn, not slain, but omitted. Thus ends the dreaded Necronomicon's entry on Antarax, the Red Death, keeper of the law unwritten, mask of the final turning, watcher of the West Road. The Orphic Scriers of the West, OSW Division, the most discreet of all Miskatonic University's occultic departments, was founded quietly in 1919 after a series of unexplainable anomalies in archival records and anthropological surveys caught the eye of some of the regional survey offices, according to whom it seemed whole communities in rural Massachusetts were discovered to have had not a single death record since the late 1880s. Further investigation by other respondents revealed that these same communities also had no birth records, no hospital logs, no mentions of disease, or indeed any other sort of mundane catastrophe throughout that same time period. Of course, when questioned, the denizens themselves insisted that everything had been entirely normal, but their cemeteries had no fresh graves. Their midwives had no memories of infants, and yet the populations remained unnaturally stable. A Miskatonic crypto-linguist reviewing these villages' folk art found a familiar symbol repeated in an ancient Babylonian tablet, a sigil resembling a mandala, fractured by a single imperfect stroke. Thus was formed the Orphic Scrier Division, known internally as OSW, or the West Road Office, whose sole preoccupation was to study, observe, and catalog any and all occurrences attributed to the entity, hence dubbed Antarax, the Red Death. Although generally understood through its occultic, mythological, and esoteric manifestations, the name itself possesses a demonstrably terrestrial origin rooted in the transmission of ancient Near Eastern star lore. The earliest recognizable antecedent is found in 2 damaged Akkadian fragments from the Shurupak corpus, which reference a threshold spirit or cyclical omen figure called Antarax, glossed variously as the Crimson Forerunner and He Who Returns. Hellenistic astronomers working in Babylon appear to have reinterpreted this figure as an auxiliary constellation surrounding Aldebaran, the red giant star whose seasonal rising marked agricultural transitions across the region. This minor asterism, known in several Alexandrian commentaries as Antaraxis, the returning king, was later absorbed into the larger figure of Taurus, leaving only scattered marginalia as evidence of its former independence. Medieval Latin translators working from incomplete or poorly preserved Greek manuscripts frequently truncated the name to Antarax, a form that circulated almost exclusively in monastic almanacs, hermetic digests, and astrological glossaries. By the 13th century, Antarax had come to signify not merely a stellar figure, but an omen of cyclical closure, an alignment heralding the end of one span and the beginning of another. It is from this lineage, part astronomical mistranscription, part ritual reinterpretation, that the modern esoteric designation of the entity derives. In OSW usage, Antarax thus denotes both the lost stellar king walking ahead of the Hyades and the conceptual archetype of inevitable return that later occult traditions elevated to numinous status. Absentius vestigia relinquit. Absence leaves its mark. At first glance, the Bureau's motto leaves much up to the imagination, which, as with all occultic paraphernalic institutions, is not a fault but a virtue, one implanted by its author's meticulously calibrated design. Like their counterparts, both near and afar, the OSW are known for their practice of dusting areas with red chalk to detect asymmetries in the physical record. But unlike the eclectic SEP, supernatural existential phenomena, chasers or SCP contagionists abroad, the OSW has but one singular EOI, entity of interest. As only befits a collegiate Ordo Zena, the Quietum Bureau accrues data on omissions, what the SCP and SCP foundations refer to as anomalies, or the diasporic Gnostic agencies, warehouses, vaults, libraries, mansions, and archives call artifacts. Like those other eclectic entities, Miskatonic U maintains a number of secret facilities, or drawers, for observing, cataloging, and referencing anomalous events. Chief among those is the Rubido Chamber, a sealed library beneath Miskatonic where artifacts associated with Antarax are stored. No item may be removed. No item may be destroyed. All are arranged in a circular pattern with one irregular gap, an architectural requirement whose origin is unknown. Artifacts include broken masks recovered from temples in Samarkand, red ochre tablets containing partial invocations, the Winchelsea Gate fragment, a door frame whose missing door never existed, a ledger of a merchant whose name was erased from history, and a drawing from a child of the North Road villages depicting the Red Silent Man. Seeing as theirs is principally a scientific endeavor, the OSW naturally employs a comprehensive team of historians, occultists, and physicists trained to identify events where empirical reality undergoes sudden correction. Mass resignations from cults, plagues end with no epidemiological explanation, individuals who live unnaturally long simply ceasing to be, etc., known as the witnessing choir. They document patterns rather than causes. They are the only department forbidden from using magic, rituals, or thaumaturgy. They must remain unaligned observers, as their directive states. To watch the Watcher is to accept judgment. Several members have resigned after reporting dreams of a ruby eye watching from the corner of their bedrooms, always at dawn or dusk. Protocol Red 7, the Scarlet Mandate, clearly states that no staff member may attempt communication. No prediction may be made regarding Antarax's actions. Attempts historically lead to missing time and altered records. If the sigil appears in any office, the building is to be evacuated without inquiry. Under no circumstances is anyone to intervene in a restoration event. Any employee who survives witnessing Antarax is to be interviewed once, then never again. Most lose the memory within days. Unpublished OSW research suggests that Antarax does not judge in the human sense. What he does is closer to mathematical reduction. When a system becomes unstable, when a person warps their intended arc with forbidden longevity, when a regime extends itself beyond the natural rise and fall, when a cycle is forced closed or forced open, Antarax restores the original equation. He does not punish, he solves. This is why the OSW motto is Numquam lineam rubrum exodus. Never step off the red line. From the tourniquet drawer of the OSW's Red X cabinet. Fragment of the first known appearance of Antarax. This tablet is much worn. Not a man with face, nor beast with form, but a cloak of the dying sun, and the glint of an eye as if ruby set in void. The tribunal of silence came among them, and the proud were weighed. Those lighter than their own deceits were blown away like chaff in the breath of Antarax. Commentary of the Mad Prophet Hazumun. Antarax is neither among the Ancient Ones nor the Elder Lords. He heeds neither Tiamat nor Azog, nor the Lord of the Opening Way. He stands apart. Even the others give place when the Scarlet Mandate descends. The prophet notes that Antarax's symbol is often confused with the sigils of the underworld kings. This is error. Antarax holds no dominion over realms, only over cycles. He is invoked in alchemy as the stage of reddening, where matter transcends impurity and becomes true to its essence. Thus is he both feared and revered. Know the name that is not spoken. The Crimson Watcher who passes judgment without breath or tongue. He whose tread is neither life nor death, but the turning of the wheel. Thus is Antarax set down among the 40 silent observers, though he is unlike the others, for he averts not his gaze, nor devours, nor whispers bargains. He simply arrives when the cycle is unbound. Some call him the Rubido crown, though no mortal has seen a crown upon him. Some call him the last mask, though he bears no face. In the Knights of the Lost Empires, he was named the Red Law, for he is the keeper of the final measure. He is neither friend nor adversary to man. He is that which rectifies. Antarax is said to be the watcher of the West Road, the star where souls depart the turning sky. His nature aligns with Rubedo, the reddening, the completion of the great work. Not destruction, but consummation. Not plague, but purification. Not death, but equilibrium. It is written, "He moves only when the law is broken. He answers only when the circle is bent, for he is the restoration of the pattern." When sorcerers defy mortality, when kings cheat omens, when the mighty harvest what is not theirs to reap, then the scarlet shape steps from the unseen folds, and all cycles run true once again. Cross-referencing the Red Death to other known outer entities. To Enki, the Liber Petrosh states Enki once barred Antarax from entering the mortal sphere for 7 cycles, that mankind might flourish and build. But Enki's ban was temporary, for even the Water Lord cannot halt the wheel forever. To Cthulhu, some claim Antarax is the only being whose presence can still the dreaming of the sleeper beneath. Their domains do not overlap, but when cycles collapse, even Cthulhu must quiet himself. To Nyarzu, the herald mocks Antarax, calling him the final bookkeeper, but steps aside whenever the Red Law is invoked, for even the most devilish of tricksters yield to the impetuous auditor. The parable of the false winter. They tell this story in the far villages of the North Road, where the snows come early and melt suddenly, and the people are careful to keep their promises. Long ago, there was a king named Hadrum the Withered, who feared death above all things. He commanded the court magi to halt the turning of the seasons so that winter would never end and his aging flesh might be preserved by cold. The magi protested, for no mortal art may bind the seasons, but their tongues were torn out for treason, and so the spells were cast. The winter held, the rivers froze and did not thaw. The seeds slept but would not wake. Children were born but did not draw breath. The sky above the kingdom dimmed, as if reluctant to look upon the place. After the 3rd year without spring, the king stood upon the palace balcony to survey his everlasting dominion, and there he saw movement across the snows. A figure not walking but happening, a suggestion of a scarlet cloak against the white, a faint glimmer like ruby caught in frostlight. The king called for his guards. They did not answer. He called for his magi. Only silence replied. The figure approached the palace gates. The winter air bent around it. In terror, the king shouted, "I forbade the turning. The cycle is mine to command." The figure did not speak. It merely lifted the faint impression of a mask. And the king fell into dust, not dead, but corrected. The next morning, spring came to the North Road, as it always had and always will. Thus, the villagers say, when the seasons falter and the proud defy their time, the red letter walks, and all things return to truth.